Kame-Cast with your hosts, Cody Taylor and Doug Keeney. And they're bringing you the best from the world of anime, sports, gaming, music, and much more. This is Kame-Cast, a recreational media production.
What's up, world? You're listening to Kame-Cast. It is MMA Monday. And as always, I'm Cody, and I've got the one and only Doug with me. What up, buddy?
What's going on, my friend?
Oh, man, it is rainy, and we have watched a few good fights, and I'm ready to talk about them.
Yeah, so MMA Monday, first round, we decided we were going to cover the UFC 230 fight card that happened Saturday night.
Yeah.
Which, of course, was Daniel Cormier versus Derek Lewis for the heavyweight title in the main event.
Yeah. So let's get that one. I don't really want to go in chronological order. Let's just talk about the fights. Let's talk about that one, man. What were your thoughts?
It went about the way I think we all thought it would.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Lewis is a great fighter. Not taking anything away from him. And, I think, had he had a little bit more time, like to do a full-on camp around this fight, it maybe would have gone a little different. But Daniel Cormier is just the superior all-around fighter, and I mean, I think it pretty much went the way, like I said, everyone thought it would. I'm a little bummed that it only went to the 2 rounds. I would have loved to have seen it be a 5-round knockout, drag-out war, but
I definitely would have liked to have seen DC stand up with him a little bit more. But I think, man, he early on in the fight, he got rocked in the eye pretty hard. And I think in that moment, DC was like, okay, that's definitely not an option. So I think at that point, he was just in wrestling gear.
Yeah, I agree. And I think at that point, he was just trying to do what he needed to do to get through this fight to kind of sidestep to the next big one. But before we talk about that, we'll talk about this one.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis came in with a lot of fanfare coming into this one, man. He made a lot of fans off that 229 fight.
Oh, yeah, man. He got huge off that. Instagram blowing up, T-shirt deals, sponsorships.
That T-shirt that he had was super slick. I kind of want one.
Yeah, well, I kind of do, too. Overall, though, I mean, he looked good coming into that fight. I think he did, for what we thought was going to happen, I think he did pretty well.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell he had lost a little bit of weight. It looked like he had slimmed down just slightly, maybe working on the cardio.
Yeah.
Although we didn't really get a chance to see that in effect.
Yeah.
I think if he wants a true shot at the championship again, and he probably needs to switch camps and really, really work on that wrestling.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lewis is still kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but he's still kind of a new in life fighter in a lot of ways, isn't he?
I think that's the story. I know he came out of jail and became a fighter, because I know he has had this like really cool like turnaround life story.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I didn't look up how long he's been fighting, like professionally.
Right. But I mean, I don't know. I just think it just came down to experience, man. And DC's been in this and at the top level of it for a long time. So I mean,
no doubt.
It's just one of those things where it's like, the better fighter won. I don't think there's much argument there, but I don't think that takes anything away from Derek Lewis.
No, not at all.
And I think we're going to see him come back strong, and whoever wins the next rumored heavyweight title fight will. I think he definitely should be in line for a shot at that.
I'm
person.
interested to see what they're going to do, because I don't know if I had heard that they were going to strip the belt, and I heard that from Joe Rogan, and not that he's an official in the UFC, but it's Joe Rogan. He does know his shit.
Right.
He's got a little insider information. So, I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. I'd be interested to see if they do, though, in favor of putting it on John Bones Jones.
Most definitely. Now, what did you think of his post-fight interview?
That was awesome. Talking about DC's post-fight.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Joe asked him about Brock Lesnar, and he's like, congratulations on winning that championship belt. Bring it here. I want to be the next WWE champion, too. It's like that's what's up, because a lot of people may not know, but DC is a huge WWE fan.
Oh yeah, and there's rumor. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but there is rumor going around that there is a chance that we'll see DC be involved in WWE. Maybe not like in an in-ring level. I don't necessarily see Dana okaying that.
Yeah.
But the talk is we may see DC come and do some commentary work for SmackDown when they move to Fox next year.
That'd be cool. I mean,
DC's a hell of a commentator.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a mouthpiece on him.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I think it'd be a great fit, and it'd be great crossover promotion for both.
Yeah.
But so what do you think of this? The idea of DC versus Brock? I mean, it's all but confirmed.
It'll be a good fight.
Do you think Brock has a chance in hell?
Yeah, I do. I mean, Brock was all-state wrestling, a hell of an actual wrestler.
Yeah, I mean, NCAA Division I champion. I think he won that twice.
I think so. He's got the striking power. I think he's had enough time where he healed from that, what was it called, diverticulitis or something like that?
Diverticulitis, yeah.
He's had enough time to heal from that. Brock is a genetic freak. It doesn't matter how old that guy gets. He'll probably be 70-year-old and still be able to kick just about anybody's ass.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there is he definitely has a shot. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I guess in my heart of hearts, I want to see DC whoop his ass. Maybe just because I'm getting so sick of Brock on my WWE TV. So it's crossing over to my UFC TV where it's like, I just want to see that motherfucker get his face punched in once.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think... As much as I like DC, I think I would want to see Brock win.
You think?
I think it'd be a better spectacle.
Yeah, it definitely put a lot more eyeballs on the UFC heavyweight title. No disrespect to DC, but I mean, DC's a star, but DC's a star in the fight world, whereas Brock Lesnar is a star, period. And that's not saying, it's just because he's WWE or anything like that, but Brock Lesnar's been a proven commodity in just about everything he's ever chosen to do,
plus,
football notwithstanding.
Plus, then you could have the Beast fight the Big Black Beast.
Ooh, that would be tight. That would be real tight. Lewis versus Lesnar would be a hell of a fight. I hate to say it, I mean, because I want to root for Derek in these fights, but you put him in there with Lesnar, I hate to say it, unless...
Lesnar's definitely got the wrestling, but we've seen in past the Lesnar has struggled with some pretty hard punches.
Oh, yeah, which that's one thing we didn't give Derek props for in this fight. He didn't get a lot of shots, but did you see the way DC reacted to the shots that Derek Lewis did get off on him?
He even said it post-fight. He's like, I took a few of those shots, and it surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, like you could very clearly see that had Derek gotten 3 or 4 more of those super solid shots that he got on him, this fight, there was a split second in that fight where I thought it was going to go another way.
Yeah, that was the one where he punched him in the eye.
Yeah, and he kind of like stumbled back a bit.
Yeah, did you catch DC's eye in the post fight?
Yeah, he damn near closed it.
Yeah, that thing was swollen and red, man.
So, I mean, let's see Derek Lewis get one of those shots off on Brock Lesnar. See what happens.
It'd be interesting.
So let's move on to the other co-main on here, Weidman versus Souza.
Man, that was a good fight, but I was disappointed.
Yeah.
Souza kind of got lucky. I mean, he didn't get lucky because he picked his shots, and he got him.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, he absolutely nailed him. I was rooting for Weidman to win, man. Weidman's a beast, and I wanted him to win.
The crowd was so hot for him, too. I mean, when you call yourself the All-American and you're in Madison Square Garden, it's like, of course.
Hey, you.
But, yeah, I mean, Weidman, I was definitely pulling for him here, too. But it was a good fight. And, it went the 3 rounds, and that was fun.
Yep. If it had been left to decision, Weidman definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. He had gotten way more significant strikes and overall looked better in the fight. And that's not taking anything away from Souza, because Souza is an amazing fighter. And he had some great moments in that fight as well. Absolutely. I mean, hell, even in the ending. Yeah. But overall, had it gone to decision, I definitely think Weidman would have gotten it. What'd you think of when he hit Chris with that shot? And he kind of wanted to stop, but the ref didn't call it.
Oh, the ref should have called it. You could tell Weidman was out. He may have been grabbing for his legs, but that was
Nobody was home.
Yeah, the driver was not in the seat.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I damn near saw the dude's eyes go cross when that happened. So I mean,
yeah.
and you even saw it in Souza's face. You kind of saw him do that like hand motion, like, really? You want me to keep doing this? It's like, just call it.
Yeah, I mean, they showed that they both have a lot of respect for each other, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he should have called that. He shouldn't have let Souza have to throw a few more punches because it was absolutely unnecessary.
Absolutely. We'll go from there.
So yeah, let's talk about Marshman versus Robertson. Robertson was the kickboxer, and Marshman was the, I believe he was a wrestler.
Yeah, that was the one that went to decision, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that one went to decision. And man, Robertson was he was throwing some just cannons with his legs, dude.
Yeah.
When those were connecting, it was like a gunshot.
Yeah, dude, that was one of those things where I had never really seen some solid kickboxing in the UFC before. I know there's always been some great kickboxers out there, but I've never really paid much attention to that world. So getting to see that on full display, that was a super fun part of the whole thing for me.
Dude, his leg power was ridiculous, and he had some really incredible striking power with those fists as well. But man, I want to talk about Marshman. Marshman, fast as hell.
Oh my God, no kidding.
Incredibly fast, like throwing those punches. It was so surprising that Robertson was evading those.
Wasn't that the guy that at one point in time got like this, like damn near 7-hit combo?
It was like
7-8
hit combo,
like straight, and you could barely see the dude's fist going.
Yeah, he was just fucking flurries of punches. But the big thing about him is, man, he had just a steel chin. He had taken some massive punches from Robertson, dude. Like that. Any other person probably would have gone down.
No kidding. And when they went back and showed the slow-mo of those hits connecting, you saw like in his eyes, like he was dazed for a second, but like after he kind of went, like, okay, very quickly bounced right back. Like you could even see in his eyes that he was not phased by those shots very much.
Yeah, it was like opening and shutters and closing them real quick.
I think had he blocked a few more of those and gotten off a few more significant hits, the fight could have gone a different way.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if Robertson hadn't tweaked his knee, because I don't know if you noticed that, like about midway into the fight, he started limping.
Yeah, the commentators even mentioned about it. I was like, look, he's starting to limp.
If he had not been limping, I think he still could have put that power behind his kicks, and I don't know if he had still had that power if Marshman would have fully went through that whole fight.
I agree.
Because I think after a while it just would have been too much, because those body shots that had to hurt. He's probably hurting a lot today.
Oh, probably. I guarantee none of these guys are feeling that great.
Probably not. There's a lot of good fights that night.
All right, so let's talk about the very opening fight, the Israel Adesanya versus Derek Brunson fight. It was a first-round TKO. Very much like the Lewis Volkov, whatever his last name was, fight 29. In the last little bit of that round, he just kind of kicked it into gear and got it going. It was a hell of a way to start the night. A quick first-round knockout like that.
And it was technical too. He knocked him down 3 times in a row without defense.
Yeah, and the dude was, to Brunson's credit, he was back up just about every single time. But still, like you said, down without any real proper defense for those shots on the way down.
Yeah, and then just at that point you could tell he was done. It was a good call by the ref stopping that fight.
Most definitely.
So there's one more fight left on the card.
Yeah, it was Jared Cannonier versus David Branch. It was a defeat by TKO in 29 seconds in the second round.
And who took that again?
Cannonier.
Okay. Honestly, I don't remember a lot about that fight. That might have been one that I was kind of playing on my phone.
I got the results up here. Yeah, I think this might have been my bathroom fight, because there was one fight where I was like, oh shit, I got to hurry up and take a leak real quick, so I ran in during a fight. is almost an afterthought. Branch, the former simultaneous, had his way during the opening round, scoring multiple takedowns, staying on top of his opponent. Okay, I remember. Yeah, this was the guy that spent pretty much the entire first round on the ground and then came back with a massive right hand in the second round.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was pretty much lights out pretty quick after that.
I remember that now.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad showing. I think this was the one where you were like, I'm taking the Luke Cage looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
And
I mean, he won.
Yeah, and that guy won. So yeah, I mean, I hate to sound like a bad MMA fan because I mean, unfortunately, we just can't commit every single one of these guys to memory. But I remember the fight being a decent one.
One thing I forgot about during the Robertson fight, do you remember those double leg takedowns he had? Where he literally just picked the dude up and slammed him? That was
my
sweet.
God, yeah, those were intense.
Yeah, that was really cool. I forgot about that for a minute. But that was the fight card. It was a good card. Solid. There weren't really any bad fights. I just happened to not really pay attention to the Branch fight.
Yeah, it was overall a super solid card of MMA action. It wasn't the super fight feel of Khabib McGregor.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're not going to get...
But it was nice because it didn't feel as high stakes. It was nice to kind of relax and not feel like...
Yeah, I mean, the heavyweight title was on the line, but it was one of those deals where, there was no super mega drama between anyone in the fights.
Yeah.
No one was... I mean, people were talking shit, but they were talking fighter shit, not like...
Yeah, not like I'm going to kill your family and beat your country up.
Exactly. But, I mean, overall, not a bad night of fights. Mm-hmm. Definitely looking forward to the next one because they announced it right there that night. UFC 231, Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega for the featherweight title.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight, man. I think Holloway will take it. I think he's, in my opinion, he's probably the better fighter.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Holloway in this one, but still, man, Ortega ain't no joke, man.
Oh, no, I mean, nothing to take away from Ortega. He is very good. I think just technically Holloway's going to outclass him just a little bit, I think.
Just a little bit. I think it's going to be a solid 5-round drag-out war.
Yeah. So who else is on that card?
Well, there's one more fight of particular interest to me, and it's Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna something African. I'm sorry, forgive me, my dear, but I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name because I will offend somebody.
Valentina, did she fight in 229?
I don't think she did. No, but
she kind of looks like a girl that did that.
Yeah, but I don't think it was her. But Shevchenko, she's a monster in the women's division, man. I've heard Rogan talk about her a lot, and I've seen a few of her highlights. I mean, she is a machine.
I've seen a few highlights on Rogan's show of her.
Absolutely. Speaking of interesting women's bouts, kind of gearing off topic real quick, but what do you think of how does Cyborg versus Nunes look to you? Like, what do you think about that one?
It's battle of the ages, man.
Yeah, I think this is if we're not going to get Ronda versus Cyborg, this is perfect.
This is on par with what that fight would have been.
I'm honestly a bit more psyched for this than I would have been for Ronda, just because I think the two, Nunes and Cyborg, have differing enough styles to make it very fun and very unique. It's
going to be a fun fight. For sure.
But Ortega Holloway, man, that's going to be a fun one. UFC is really starting to pick up their game. It's like ever since Conor stepped away, it's not that they've had weak cards because they've had some really good cards in that downtime. But
I mean, UFC was going through. This isn't the technical term, but I'm going to call it like a farming year. In the sense that
like a growing year.
Yeah, like all their big names like Liddell, Ortiz, Machida, a lot of those
Silva.
Yeah, a lot of those big names they had started to retire, and you had some young cats like Conor coming in,
the
Ronda. Diaz brothers. You had those cats coming in, and they're starting to die off. So you kind of had this not die off, but.
Either peter out or get to where they're not fighting as much.
Yeah. So you're kind of in this phase where it's like, okay, who are the new guys? Who's going to be the new names?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're getting some really cool ones coming up. Not much from Mickey Gall. I haven't heard a whole lot from him since the Punk fight. I know he's fought, but I don't think he's had very many big fights since then, has he?
I don't think so.
That's a shame, man. I think they need to do a little bit more with him.
Yeah, who was it yesterday? There's going to be Fight Night 141. You asked me, it was...
Alistair Overeem.
Yeah, he's
and that blew me away. That Overeem would be on a fight night, not on a pay-per-view.
It doesn't completely surprise me.
Well, I mean, just because of who he is. I mean, Alistair Overeem was a huge name for them.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, maybe it's just to add some value to that fight night pass. So I
would agree.
I'm not going to complain there. Still patiently awaiting Sugar Sean being able to get back in there, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure when we'll get to see him. I know like a week or so ago he had hip surgery. So I mean, there's the hip surgery that'll probably at least, I think it said something like 4 months for recovery. And then I don't think the USADA stuff has been cleared up yet.
Probably not, because that's a big hurry up and wait process. I mean, look how long it took John Jones to get his name cleared.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like at least a couple years that fight was?
I think so.
Give or take year and a half, couple years, something like that.
But I'm not sure the whole deal there. But I'm excited to see him fight again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight.
I'm excited for this year in UFC. I just think there's enough cool things being thrown out there. And hypothetically, if Brock does win the heavyweight title from DC, obviously that would open us up to more fights for him.
Yeah.
And the pro wrestling fan in me can't help but wonder, how interesting would it be, first off, to see a WWE belt on UFC pay-per-view?
Yeah. And
then vice versa, should Brock win that title, seeing a UFC belt on a WWE pay-per-view.
You're probably going to hate me for saying this.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
And I don't mean this in a critical way, but it's one of those things where I just kind of critically have to think honestly. I think taking the UFC belt and wearing it over in WWE, big thing. I don't know if it flips the same way.
Well, it flips the same way it doesn't flip the same way for the MMA fans. The WWE fans are going to be psyched to see the UFC belt.
I would agree with that.
The MMA fans are not going to be psyched to see that belt. But the flip around with that is, rather than relying on a huge pop from the MMA fans, they're going to be counting on the wrestling fans tuning in to buy that pay-per-view just to see their champion defend that belt.
I agree.
One last thing we'll talk about, just kind of crossing over. This is the only piece of this particular thing I want to talk about, but given that he's going back to UFC, what'd you think of the idea of Vince putting the WWE belt back on him?
It just doesn't make sense, man.
Feels like we're back to square one, isn't it?
Yeah, I just really... It made way more sense to put it on Braun. And I don't know why they didn't.
And it was very much kind of a squash match. I mean, Braun did not really look that strong.
I didn't see the match, so I can't really speak on that. But I just, knowing that they put it back on Brock, I don't get it.
Well, come on Wrestling Wednesday with me, maybe, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
But so guys, we're gonna go ahead and sign off here. This is gonna, like we were saying in the video that we put up today. Thank you guys so much for all the attention on that, by the way.
Yeah, that was great.
We're just gonna do nice little consumable tidbits of audio / video, whatever we can do for you throughout the week to give you kind of a more separated dose of everything that we cover.
Absolutely.
So we want to thank you guys so much for coming out and being part of this first MMA Monday with us. Be looking forward to next week. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about for MMA Monday next week, but I'm sure we'll find something.
Put together something. Hey, I'll check. Maybe there's a Bellator fight this weekend.
Absolutely. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Tuesday Gaming with our buddy Tyler Harris, where we will be giving a full-on review of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hell yeah.
So I want to thank you guys so much for listening. I've been Doug Keeney.
I'm Cody Taylor.
You can find us on all social media platforms. Don't forget to click subscribe in the YouTube channel. And this is Kame-Cast. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye-bye.